Hey there! Struck me the other day that we're talking a lot about what's our social and moral responsibility in society and whether you should shop somebody. So this was basically around the theme of this kind of pandemic scenario where you should have the magic 6 and no more. So should you shop a friend or neighbour if you know that there are more than 6 people in a house or a garden? Or should you shop someone if you know that they've had a positive coronavirus test and yet they're failing to self-isolate? So lots of kind of moral and social judgments, as I say. And it reminds me that every now and then I'll get kind of people approach Wednesday's Child and ask me whether they should shop someone that they've identified as having an eating disorder or eating disordered behaviour, and whether that's to go behind somebody's back. So it reminds me of a few months back I had an email from a sister who had discovered that her sister, who had been recovered from an eating disorder, was now still stashing laxatives, and the sister, because she shared an ensuite bathroom with her, was aware that she was binge purging again. And then more recently I had an email from somebody who's at school with someone and said, I'm aware that somebody in my year group has got an eating disorder and is behaving in certain ways that give rise to believe that she's got an eating disorder, and she doesn't know whether to shop that person, if you want to call it, label it that way, shop them to the head of pastoral at the school or to the head of year. So I would say in those situations that in an ideal world, we would have a nice gentle conversation with that person and feel able to say, you know, I'm aware, I'm spotting this, I feel there may be a problem here. How can I help you? Do we need to reach out for help? And particularly that might be the case, you know, if you're 2 sisters and you live very, very closely together, and if you feel you have that relationship, then I would say, you know, rather than kind of just shop them straight to your parents or out them to a GP or anything else, you know, start that conversation as close to home as you possibly can, which is with that person in question. Friendships may be slightly different. You may feel that actually if you don't feel comfortable then broaching that conversation with that person, you may just want to go to a matron at the school or the head of pastoral care. You have to consider your own sort of status of mental health and well-being and how you feel that's going to impact on you and your friendship or relationship, because let's not forget, if that person then does become identified as having their eating disorder and for whatever reason they are now going to have to start that eating disorder journey, they're really going to want to see you as somebody they can trust and have as an ally. So if you are the friend at school, perhaps you discreetly don't want to make it kind of apparent that you are the person that's mentioned it to the school, so that then you can maintain that close relationship with that person throughout that recovery journey. Alternatively, you might feel the friendship can stand that, and that you want to say to this person, I feel we should go and talk to the matron, the head of pastoral care, our head of year, because I'm really concerned about you. And you may feel that's the correct approach today to do. But what I would say in all cases is think less of it about being shopping someone and more about the value that comes from knowing that you have done that right thing to help that person get every opportunity to have the care and support that they need to have for what is a devastating illness. And if you close your eyes and you put your fingers in your ears, you're allowing that person to suffer longer, suffer harder, and not achieve the early intervention for their eating disorder that they need. I hope that helps.